What's up, you beautiful collectors and action figure fans? Thanks for tuning in. Once again, it is the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, continuing on with my look at the Nemesis Build-A-Figure wave, we're going to be taking a look at the new Marvel Legends FABIAN CORTEZ. And this is a fun one because he's kind of not a good guy, kind of not a bad guy, kind of just a bad guy. Just because you're a bad guy doesn't mean you're a bad guy. Well, he's a bad guy. One of the founding members of the Acolytes, a group chosen by Magneto to live on Asteroid M and basically oversee the mutants that sought refuge by going to Asteroid M. FABIAN CORTEZ is kind of an interesting one. He basically is a leech for the most part. His mutant ability is that he can enhance other mutants' abilities and also increase their health aspect. And I remember FABIAN CORTEZ primarily during the time in the X-Men comics when Magneto was needed to be stopped. He had ripped out the adamantium out of Wolverine's body, like completely pulling it off of his bones and ripping it out through his body, which just destroyed Wolverine for the most part. It really was a long road for him to recover. And Professor X needed to do something. I mean, he watched that happen, and he watched Magnus just not care about Wolverine and did that to him. So he literally isolated his mind from his body, and he's basically brain dead for the most part. It's what led to one of the coolest villains of all time, that being Onslaught, which created a whole nother storyline. But basically Magneto, Eric Lenshear, Magnus, laid comatose, and FABIAN CORTEZ basically kept him alive for all intent and purposes. But during that time, took over as the leader. I mean, he was already the leader of the Acolytes, but he elevated himself. The Acolytes served Magneto, and he elevated himself to that of Magneto. Well, when Magneto came around, he found out that, FABIAN was basically juicing him up. And the other aspect of things is that his enhancement to mutants' abilities is kind of addictive. So he really was doing that to create a control over Magneto. And when Magneto essentially discovered that, that kind of evil aspect of him, he cast them out for the most part. For the package, though, very similar to a lot of the new Marvel Legends that we're getting in terms of this rectangular box. I really do like it. It's really nice looking. You got the name, Build-A-Figure. You got the open window that showcases them. You got an up-close image of them. You got a more pullback image. You come around the back, you can see all 7 figures that are in this wave. With the exception of Wolverine, they all come with a Build-A-Figure piece. And you can pause that right there. Basically, it goes over the same kind of stuff that I was talking about. But when you collect the Build-A-Figure pieces, you can create Nemesis, which people have left me comments like, well, that's not meant to be Holocaust or Nemesis. I'll get into all that. I'll get into it. I still don't necessarily like it because he is a version of that. He's a multiversal version of him, and I don't particularly like that look. It is what it is. So we have taken a look at all of them so far, with the exception of Nightcrawler and what's her name? I forgot. Marrow. But we are now taking a look at FABIAN. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool this guy actually is. And here we have FABIAN CORTEZ opened up and out of his packaging. And I was really excited about this figure. I was very much excited about him. I think that the Acolytes are actually very underserved in a lot of things, including action figures, and getting Fabian Cortez, might open things up to other Acolytes. I would actually think it would be really cool if they did some of the more common ones, or more well-known ones, including Colossus, who was an Acolyte for a little bit. His sister, I'm trying to remember the storyline. His sister, I think, died, and Professor X couldn't help her or something like that. So he left, or maybe she was dying or something like that. And Magneto offered assistance, something along those lines. So he was definitely upset at the X-Men, and he left to go help Magneto. But that'd be kind of cool, getting a Colossus figure in the Acolyte outfit. Now, for his accessories. But I was going on and on saying about how excited I was about the figure, and I still like the figure. There's something wrong with mine, and I'll get to that here in a bit. It doesn't make me dislike the figure, just makes me kind of disappointed in it because of this. But you do get this is the left leg for what's his name, Nemesis. So basically we're just about done. We're gonna have to get his arm and his helmet kind of thing, and I think his helmet comes along with, I think, Nightcrawler. Either way, so the other pieces will be able to fully assemble him, and then you'll be able to take a look at Nemesis. He also does come with a pair of fisted hands that you can see that are on him. He also comes with a right hand that is like a gesturing hand, but then also this other hand which is meant to hold the weapon, but he doesn't come with a weapon. So, like, why do we need that hand at all? It doesn't make any sense to me. And then you do get some effect pieces here, which plug into his fist, and I really like these. I don't know if we've gotten these before. Some of you guys might know I don't collect a lot of Marvel Legend figures, but these are new ones for me. Maybe it's like Human Torch or something, but a really nice translucent color throughout here with this yellow orange translucence. But you can see that it's a little bit darker in some areas, a little bit lighter in others, so it does give a very cool effect to it. And then all you do is you come around here, you got his fist, and then you just take that and you just plug it in there, and it's like he's got a thunder punch, something like that. So you do have that. Now for the figure, he does have a cape. It looks like it's pegged in there. I don't want to pull it off or anything. But it does look like it's like partially attached to it. Couple aspects though I really don't like. The coloring on his arms is really weird. It's very pinkish, kind of. I don't know if you're able to see that, but I really don't like the color on it. And then you can see that the head kind of matches with that, but then when you look at the neck, you can plainly see that it's painted on this body, which gives it again a slightly different tone to it. I don't like that. That's kind of, I don't want to say it's nitpicky, but it could be done considerably better, and we've seen it done better, so I feel like this is kind of a step back. You do have his really giant ponytail back here. This is the part, though, that I have a big problem with, and like I said, it's only on my figure. I don't know if other people have had it happen to them, but you can see that he's got this headpiece thing here that kind of wraps around and comes down. He's supposed to have it on both sides, but he doesn't. He just has a gouge in his face where it's supposed to be, and you can see where it would go along the back section. So he's supposed to have both sides of that. I looked through the actual package. I even went back to the beginning portion of the video, and I zoomed in when it was in the package. It wasn't on him in the package. So I looked throughout the package to see maybe it fell off and it was in there somewhere. It's not. So that was never attached at the factory, apparently. And that bothers me. because it's kind of ugly. Although it kind of looks kind of cool. It looks like a giant scar on there. But otherwise, like, the head sculpt is really nice. You got a very angry look to him. His hair looks very cool with, like, the big, kind of, like, little spiky looking hair. And then you get the giant ponytail in the back. So those aspects, like I said, the paint I'm not the biggest fan of. That's a design choice. So I think that was done poorly. And then does this actually rotate around? I don't know if his hair rotates around. I feel like it kind of does, but I don't want to overdo it. But then this is just a problem with my copy. So it is unfortunate. Quality control. I'm not one of those kind of people that usually complains much about quality control, because I don't get a lot of problems with figures. I do know some people have them, but I do want to make sure that I point that out. So when you're looking at this in the store, make sure that that's on there. That way you don't have the same issue that I do. But overall, the design of the figure looks exactly how I would expect. He's got a very hard, rigid cape, which is kind of normal. Even like Magneto has a hard cape and all that kind of stuff. You got the shoulder sections here. You got the V, which I don't know why they V for acolytes. I have no idea. But you do have the pinless joints on the body, so you do have that look going on for it. In general, I'm happy with it. The overall the design, some of the cosmetic issues like the paint, obviously, is something that I'm a little bit miffy about. And then the missing piece. For comparison, here is his Lord and Master, Magneto. Just kind of chilling there, so you can see how these guys stack up. I would imagine that at some point in time, we'll get a Magneto with the pinless joints. It just looks better. I mean, because you can see how that looks. And those pinless joints, I mean, those are just better in general. Same thing with the elbows. So you're going to get a much better figure at some point in time of Magneto. I'm fairly certain of it with the updated body. But there's your comparison. For articulation on this guy, head is on a ball joint. You do have a hinge joint, so you can look way far down. No, that's about as far up as it's going to go. Shoulders move in and out. They rotate up, but you do get the shoulder section here, which does kind of limit some of it. It can't go all the way up unless you kind of rotate it around and do it that way. You do have the bicep swivel, double joints at the elbow. Wrists rotate, hinge, forward and back. You do have the waist swivel there. You also have the hinge for the ab crunch thing going on. Hips do move forward. They move in and out. They move back. They rotate at the upper part of the thigh. Bend at 2 points here at the knee. Does he rotate at the boot? Is there a boot cut? No boot cut. But you do have the ankles that move forward and back. And then the hacky sack. So you can do that. So, in general, happy with the figure. Glad that we got him. Some people are probably like, who cares about the acolytes? I care. I care. I think they're fun. Especially in that particular storyline, like I said, where Magneto was comatose and was on Asteroid M. And let's get these guys on there. I mean, I think that. And then having FABIAN CORTEZ is pretty darn cool. I've also heard rumor that the creator of FABIAN CORTEZ, who apparently had some kind of issues with Fabian Nicieza, who is the co-creator of Deadpool, also kind of worked on that. The rumor is that the creator of this character decided to name him after Fabian Nicieza. I still don't know if I'm saying that name right. I never have known. But there you go, guys. There's my look at FABIAN CORTEZ. If you would like to add him to your collection, he's going to be hitting various retail locations fairly soon. I will put links down in the video description where you can check all those out. I did pick mine up through cmdstore.com, which is a really good store. They usually get a lot of things before a lot of bigger retailers like Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, things of that nature. Especially with Transformers, I know a lot of people go that route for Transformers and things of that nature, but also things like Marvel Legends. They get them ahead of other people. So check them out. I'll put the links down in the description of the video. Yeah, because that's what it is. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. As always, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you do it if your name is Sydney. That way everybody can know that you're all named Sydney. That's basically it. Because why not? But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching, as I said. And until next time, this is Optibotimus, and I'll talk to you later.